Hello, and welcome to Smack Talk, the game show where it pays to be cruel. We have 4 comedians. In each round, we will go to each comedian and give a statement about them. It's the other 3 comedians' jobs to finish that statement with the funniest and cruelest thing they can think of. The cash prize at the end of the game is £50. So let's meet today's comedians. First up, star of Netflix new documentary Tiger King: The Porn Years, it's Neil Bratchpiece.
Yeah.
Hello. Next up, we have the best thing to come out of Iceland since those reduced frozen profiteroles I got last week. It's Bylgja Babýlons.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's everyone's favourite junkie wizard. It's Rosco McClelland.
Yeah. Am I the only one clapping?
And lastly, the answer to the question, who's that naked guy in my garden and why's he got a garden no up his arse? It's Gus Lymburn.
Yay.
Okay, so we start with round 1. Round 1 is the appearance round. That's when we all make fun of how each other look. And we're going to start with Mr. Neil Bratchpiece. So Neil is quite short. However, from what we hear from his ex-girlfriend, he has an absolutely massive temper and he's quite scary to be around sometimes. Comedians, finish the statement. You know Neil is short when, okay? So I think we'll start with Bylgja. Bylgja, finish the statement. You know Neil is short when.
You know Neil is short when you suddenly are on a Zoom thing with him and you ask people, who the fuck is Neil? People say, that wee short cunt of YouTube.
Yes, straight in there. Next up, Rosco.
You know Neil is short when you can't tell whether you're at a comedy gig or a Hitler Youth rally.
Oh, next up, we've got Gus Lymburn. Gus.
All right, you know Neil is short when you see him leave to go for a gig and he's walking down the street singing, hi ho, it's off to work I go.
Right, Neil, you get to pick the best line there. Who do you think gets the point?
I'll give it to Bylgja.
Nice one.
Because that cunt off YouTube is how I tend to sign things. The dough.
Okay, next up we go to Bylgja Babýlons. Bylgja has red hair. Do you know in the Bible, Samson derived strength from his hair, and similarly, Bylgja derives a personality from hers.
True.
So, comedians, we want you to finish the statement. Bylgja's hair is so red that. Okay, so we're going to start with Rosco this time.
Oh, mine's just so close to the initial slam. Mine's is Bylgja's hair is so red that it makes her seem vaguely interesting.
Hey.
Is that too much? My wife's looking at me like, why did you fucking say that?
Okay, next up we'll go to Gus.
Okay, Bylgja's hair is so red that if she got married and wore a traditional wedding dress, she'd look like one of those tissues you stick up your nose in order to stop a nosebleed.
And finally, Neil.
Bylgja's hair is so red that it encourages traffic to stop, and the cars can only go again when she flashes her cunt, because that's green.
Oh,
I thought you two had never met.
Okay, Bylgja, what was the best of?
Well, I think that's all. I think that's kind of like all barriers have been broken with that one sentence there. The floodgates are open. We can say what we want.
Yeah, it's good to get it out of the way right in the first round. I'm going to give the point to Neil, though. Yeah.
Understandably. Okay, next up we've got Rosco McClelland. Rosco is quite rough round the edges. You would definitely want to avoid him on the street, especially if you didn't have any spare change. So, saying Rosco is rough looking is like saying what? Gus, we start with you.
Okay, saying Rosco is rough looking is a little bit like saying the Bee Gees were a bit teethy.
Next up, Neil.
Saying Rosco is rough looking is like saying Tim Brooke Taylor seems a bit peely-wally. And by this point, I imagine they both smell the same.
And lastly, Bylgja.
Saying Roscoe is rough looking is like saying the economy is suffering right now and capitalism probably isn't going to work in the long run and Carol Baskin probably did kill her husband.
Damn right she did.
Okay, Roscoe, who deserves to win the point there?
I'm going to go for Gus.
Gus?
Thank you, Roscoe. Thank you.
And it's not just because Neil and Bylgja shared a wee point with each other in the first two. Right?
Wow.
This is weird. There's an allegiance between Neil and Bylgja, and that's because Neil called her cunt green, and they seem to become. They seem to have bonded over that experience, which is fucking weird.
Okay, finally in this round, we go to Gus Lymburn. Gus looks like he's having a midlife crisis, and I'm only saying that because he has having a midlife crisis. See his haircut for proof. Gus, you want to show us that?
This is not a lockdown haircut. Let's keep that under wraps for just now. Okay.
No, not at all. Okay, so the statement we want you to finish is, I'm not saying Gus is having a midlife crisis, but Neil Bratchpiece, we start with you.
I'm not saying Gus is having a midlife crisis, but he drew racing stripes in his hands to make every wank seem like he's driving a sports car like that. He's missed it.
Bylgja?
I'm not saying Gus is having a midlife crisis, but they say that coronavirus doesn't really affect those under 18, so I think all of his Tinder dates are going to make it through this.
And finally, Roscoe.
I'm not saying Gus is having a midlife crisis, but everybody else is, and I agree with them. But also he started an online band. So there you go.
Keeping myself busy. I think I'm going to give that points. Sorry, have I jumped the gun there?
Not at all. That was what I was going to ask, mate.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm going to give it to Neil for the noise he made. The noise and eyes combo. That tickled me.
Lovely stuff.
At home, that was close to the bone, so to speak.
Well, before we move on to round two, we've actually got a sneaky wee bonus question for you guys, and it's about Neil Bratchpiece. So, because Neil is a YouTube star, and under his character name, the Wee Man. But for the other comics, how many subscribers does his YouTube channel have? Okay, that's what we're asking. So, Gus, how many subscribers do you think Neil has on YouTube?
Oh, God. I don't know. Probably quite a lot. Is it the closest one gets the points here? Is that what it is?
Yeah, sorry, I should have pointed that out. Yeah.
Okay. How many? I'm going to go with fucking 10,000. I'm going quite big.
10,000. Lovely. Next up, Bylgja. How many do you think?
I'm gonna say 6,500.
6,000. Oof. And finally, Roscoe.
Well, I am going to go with. I'm going to go with about 2,800.
2,800, getting worse as it goes on. The correct answer is
it really
actually...
is, yeah.
Neil, do you know how many you've got?
I do. I mean, Roscoe's...
He's got it tattooed on his fucking arm.
I constantly walk around just reminding myself like Rain Man or something. 10.4 thousand.
10.4 thousand. That's Gus Lymburn.
I wasn't. Yeah.
Well done, Neil.
Although it is getting worse, that point was correct as well.
For the interest of disclosure, by the way, Bylgja has 72 subscribers, Gus doesn't have a YouTube page, and Roscoe has 16, so might as well not have one.
Yeah.
Okay, on that lovely note, moving on to round two. Round two is called the Rule of Three, and that's where we ask the comedians for 3 answers to just the one question. And we're going to start off this time with Bylgja Babýlons. So Bylgja told us that her accent confuses people on a daily basis. Well, I think that's what she said, but who fucking knows? Comedians, what are the 3 real reasons that people are confused by Bylgja? And Roscoe, we're going to start with you.
Right. Reason number 1 that people would be confused by Bylgja is 1, they can't believe she's actually still here after Brexit's happened. I don't know why she's here either. Number 2, she sounds like a fucking cartoon snowman or something like that. To take her seriously. And number 3, I've noticed that she doesn't actually change her facial expression when she talks, so it's like hearing some weird noises coming out of a fucking rock or something like that.
Oh, God. Gus, you next.
That's quite weird because I exactly picked up on what Roscoe said. I said that one of the things people are confused are is her intent, because she doesn't move her face at all. So she could be angry or happy, the same fucking look. She looks like a mannequin's had a stroke. Do you know what I mean? It's just fuck all. As well, I think the second thing, age. I think Bylgja is one of these weird fuckers that could be 22 or 49. Do you know what I mean? She could either be like an old-looking youth or an older woman having a fucking meltdown. And that sounded much more brutal than it was meant to.
I was ID'd in Poundland the other day, so you're not wrong.
And yeah, I think the third thing is what look she's going for. Like, I don't have a clue. I don't know what it is. It looks like I'm going with aging goth.
I feel like I should be writing this down, just stuff that I can work on.
Yeah, you need some funny material. Okay, next.
Fuck.
Next up is Neil Bratchpiece.
3 real reasons people are confused by Bylgja are her stupid fucking name, her stupid made-up country, and how she somehow manages to be both Ariel and Ursula from The Little Mermaid.
Brilliant. Bylgja, who wins the point for you there?
I'm going to give it to Gus for that mannequin who had a stroke line. I like that one.
Wonderful stuff.
I put that on my Tinder profile.
Okay, now we move on to Roscoe. Just to point out, Roscoe, you have not received any points so far.
Oh.
I thought I get 1 point. No, I haven't actually. Oh, well, you know what? Fuck. Yes. Do I feel right now? Red or angry?
Roscoe was once cast as Joseph in a school nativity play, which is good. I actually think Roscoe could pull off a Joseph, but enough about that weird dream I had last night. Feel free to laugh at my lines as well, guys. I tried my very best an hour before to write these. So comedians, what 3 roles would Roscoe be cast as today and why? Gus, we'll start with you.
Right, I reckon Abraham Lincoln, the college years. It looks before he got his shit together, just when he was trying stuff out as a young lad. Or Peter Sutcliffe, the bulimic years. I don't know if that's not too far. Or any corpse in a gritty police drama. Do you know when the police walk into a room and they go, "Holy shit, it looks like this guy's been dead for weeks. I hope we're going to get to play this guy." Fucking Roscoe.
How you're not getting more parts yourself, Gus, because that was something else. Neil, we'll move on to you. 3 roles.
3 roles Roscoe could play are the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, as he looks a bit like a junkie lion. His nose is pointy like a witch, and he definitely sleeps in a wardrobe.
Oh. You hear that?
Yeah, I'm getting heckled, man. I miss those days.
Finally, Bylgja.
You guys know those videos they play on the bus? Like they're all in slow motion and they have people pointing and sort of, I think Roscoe could be like in one of those. But
what? wait, don't get, wait, what?
You know, on the bus, they play, I thought this might be this would need some explanations because I don't know if you guys ride the bus, but they have those little videos playing And one of them is just a dude riding the bus to show you how to ride the bus. And I thought Rosco would be good in one of those just to sort of prove that like a moron can learn to use the bus.
That was a long garden path.
That was a very long. We got there in the end. I think we might not have. Second one. Let's move on.
That was only the first.
Yeah. We're going to be here a while, guys. A homeless man's dog. You could just chuck that Snapchat filter on his face. You know, it would be good. And the last one was a man jerking off in the background in the Scottish remake of the Dallas Buyers Club.
Okay, Roscoe.
The Gallus Buyers Club.
Dallas Buyers Club.
Roscoe, who wins the point there, mate?
I haven't seen the Dallas Buyers Club. Is that about AIDS?
No.
It is, aye.
It is?
Aye.
Well, fuck off, Bylgja.
I think I should get
I'm
it.
going to give the point to... I'm going to go for Gus again.
Oh,
Oh,
amazing.
there we go. Gus, you're nailing this, mate.
We got our own little allegiance. Fuck those other guys.
Well, apparently not, because I've got fucking no points. I'm just being honest with my heart.
Well, we now move on to Gus. Strange enough, Gus was once nearly arrested for driving a crane after drinking 10 pints. There you go. I mean, I find Monday mornings hard as well, mate. Comedians, name 3 reasons that Gus might be arrested now. Neil, we'll start with you.
3 reasons Gus could be arrested are attempted murder of his own liver, stealing a living, and arson for a gig I saw him torch at the Beehive after attempting to murder his own liver all day.
Bylgja, we move on to you.
The first one's kind of obvious. Pedo hunters find him on a Tinder date. Public urination while holding a bag labeled drugs. And breaking lockdown by trying to MC the queue outside Scotland while high on PCP.
To be honest, that sounds like a cracking weekend.
I genuinely thought that's something you did that I'd missed there. I was like, oh, I need to go watch that.
I know. I'll fucking stick it on Twitch, get a fucking few followers off of that.
Gus. No, Roscoe, we move to you. Sorry, mate. 3.
Yes. 3 reasons that Gus might be arrested. Number 1, playing Overwatch with Wayne's on his PlayStation. Not good. Number 2, look at him. And number 3 is, no, seriously, just fucking look at him. Take a few seconds. Should be in the jail.
Look at everybody in this little group, and then I'm the one getting ripped for my appearance. This looks like the most eclectic mix of fucking escapees I've ever seen.
It's the haircut, Gus. You look like that was done. You flew to the deep south to get that haircut.
I'll give you that. The haircut's fucking terrible. What do you do in lockdown? I don't care. I've lost the will to give a fuck.
We do look like the cast of an apocalyptic kind of zombie film, actually.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like the way it's set up on my screen now. It looks like the Brady Bunch have lost their shit.
Gus, who do you think gets the point there, mate?
I'm gonna give it to Bylgja because she gave me some good ideas about how to fill this weekend in.
Lovely.
I'm glad.
Anybody got any PCP? Anybody a number? Anyone? Anything?
Right, finally we go to Neil. Neil's first ever gig was at the Comedy Store and it was hosted by Jonathan Ross. Well, Neil once seen a guy that looked like Jonathan Ross in Tesco. So, comedians, which 3 I mean, honestly, just force a laugh for the edit.
You can dub that in post, come on.
I can't, no. Right, so, comedians...
I'm enjoying you getting more and more annoyed at the lack of laughter you're getting.
Welcome to my life, mate. So, which 3 questions would Jonathan Ross ask Neil on his chat show? Bylgja, we start with you.
The 3 questions he would ask would be, who are you? Why are you here? Would you please leave?
Polite at the end. Roscoe?
The 3 questions Jonathan Ross would ask Neil are: question number 1, how's that rap career going, man? Question number 2, how come your brother's so tall and you're not? And question number 3, not free, do you find yourself spending less on bleach to dye your hair, seeing as it's disappearing?
Gus, what 3 questions do you think Jonathan Ross would ask?
Well, mine are kind of similar to Bylgja's. Mine are, who are you? Why are you following me? And how much money do you want so I can get to see my family again?
Neil, who wins the point there, mate?
I'm going to have to give that to Roscoe.
Oh, first point, Roscoe.
Well, Gus and Bylgja did very similar ones, so Roscoe was, out there alone. And he's the first person
For being alone.
my male pattern baldness as well, which extra credit for that.
Bit of fucking effort. I'm the only one who's married here, Bylgja, so how do you feel about that?
Moving on to the next round. We've actually got another wee bonus question for you here before we move to round 3, and it's about Rosco McClelland. Rosco is represented by Gag Reflex. To the other comics, how many appearances and credits does Rosco have listed on his client page on their site? Okay, so we'll start with Gus.
I don't what. Oh fuck! I don't know. I don't know what they kind of list on those things. Is it? I'm gonna go with 3.
3, okay.
3 big ones, like
3. Mel, Bylgja?
I'm gonna go with 5.
5.
I believe in you, Roscoe.
And Neil?
I'm going to go with 3 available for children's parties, bar mitzvahs, and wakes.
Well, you might have to change your answer because Gus had went first.
Oh, right, okay. I'm going to say 7.
7.
Magnificent 7.
The correct answer is error 404, page not found. So whoever got closest to 0, which is Gus, gets a bonus point.
yes.
Wow.
Right. Now,
let me tell you, this is not going to be on it. When I get it back up and running.
Okay, now we move on to round 3. Round 3 is personal life. We get to know the comedians a little bit better here, and we're going to start off with Roscoe. Roscoe has a condition causing his heart to beat randomly called prolonged QT syndrome, or as his doctor calls it, a worrying and extreme cocaine habit. See, I think what's happening now, it's part of the wee game, innit? Just let's laugh at Joe.
And look that'll sort you out. Don't worry about it.
I hate you, Neil. Anyway, comedians, what other condition does Roscoe have that we don't know about? So we'll start with Gus.
He just looks like he's nutritionally deficient. I think he's like, I don't know, I reckon if he was to have a bit of fruit, his body would just implode, going, what the fuck is this? Like some sort of anaphylactic shock to an alien body. That was just dark. That wasn't even funny.
I don't know what you said.
It's very bleak. Neil, what condition do you think Roscoe has?
Another condition Roscoe has is the unconditional love for the dog that he walks on a piece of rope, even though the dog is dead and has always been dead.
Yeah.
And finally, Bylgja.
Love that dog.
Scurvy, caused probably by a methadone addiction that we don't know about.
Fair enough. Roscoe, he gets the points.
I'm going to go with Neil for that one.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Now we move on to Gus. Gus once had a Coast Guard searching for his dead body in the North Sea. The Coast Guard is stupid, though, because Gus had actually tried to kill himself in the South Sea. Comedians, if they had found Gus's body,
Is that real or is that a joke?
Yeah, it's real, but I didn't try and kill myself. I went streaking and left. I went streaking and left my clothes too near a cliff, and they saw the clothes and thought somebody had taken their clothes off and jumped off the cliff into the water. And it was just a streak gone wrong. I was about 16, and I woke up the next morning to the police coming to my door with my clothes in folded up in little evidence bags, and I was like, "Fucking hell, this is brilliant service, lads. Thanks."
Nicely folded.
Yeah, all folded up in these little plastic bags. I was like, it honestly looked like a dry clean service. It was amazing.
That's beautiful.
Comedians, if they did find Gus's body now, what would be the cause of death? Neil, we'll start with you.
Gus's cause of death would be suicide. I think we all know that.
Oh,
is that where we're stopping? Is it?
No, I'm not stopping there. I think Gus's real cause of death, of course, would be during lockdown, just excessive wanking. Just wanking and thrashing away, just pulling and tugging and mashing until it's a bloody pulp, until his balls are coming out the end of it, and just mashing and mashing. He can't stop, he just keeps mashing, and he looks up into the air and he screams, shrieking, cutting a hole through time. "I've been Gus Lymburn, cheers, good night." And then his life dribbles at the end of his piss hole.
What the fuck? That was quite beautiful, to be honest.
Yeah.
Probably for the best that my feed cut out there for a second.
Well, the joke's on you, Neil, because that was Tuesday and I'm still alive.
Bylgja, we move on to you.
I said suicide as well because it's pretty obvious, but I think it would be like a murder-suicide pact with a prostitute named Janine.
Rosco?
I think we've all went pretty close to the truth. And I have as well. I've just wrote Gus's cause of death would be that all of his obvious problems have finally caught up with him.
Thanks, friends. Thanks.
So, Gus, who gets the points for that comedy round?
Who cares? I'm going to kill myself after this. Too dark. That's too dark. We'll go with Neil because of that mad rant about me wanking. I've never had somebody describe me wanking in such depth.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Hopefully I've given some ideas for the weekend too.
Yeah. Once that PCP's in me, fucking anything goes.
Okay, now we move on to Neil. Neil is a big fan of wrestling, and we'd like the comedians to tell us what would Neil's wrestler name be, and what would his signature wrestling move be. Bylgja, we'll start with you.
Yes, holy shit. Mine is not even cruel. It's just an idea for you, Neil. I thought his name could be Nearsighted Neil, and his move is like, he wears like a monocle. Isn't that what it's called? A monocle. And his move is to just like put it on the other person, but not in the proper way, like in a slightly clumsy way, so the person is like, ow, and gets damaged on their cornea. I know it's very difficult to tell that I have not ever watched wrestling and know very little about it. But
Great.
there you go, Neil.
I love that idea.
I love it. Yeah. Rosco?
I think Neil's wrestler name could be the New Guy, and I'll tell you why. His signature move would be a move called, wow, I can't believe that Rosco is technically actually the Scottish comedian with the longest ICW history. His elbow. I just thought I would put that out there because it turns out I was at one of the first 2 or 3 shows of ICW. So really, I'm the OG.
Gus?
What just happened there?
I was just flexing, man. There's no joke in it. I just thought I would get that out there on the internet just for a little bit of
top band.
Yeah.
All right, I've got sorry, so my go, is it? Yeah.
It is indeed.
All right, Neil's name would be Captain Creepy, and he would just like sneak up on his opponent and deploy the Me Too rusty trombone.
But
It's right behind him, like meh, 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 meh. That would be it. I don't know. I don't watch wrestling either. Fuck no.
Is Neil frozen? Oh no, he's back. There we go.
can I re-say an answer quickly, just because I feel like I know what's going to get a point?
Go for it.
I think Neil's wrestler name would be called the Wankinator, and his signature move would be just having a big wank or wank someone else off. Something like that. What you want? Is that what people want?
Yes. Yeah.
The Wankinator. Yeah. It's like,
That's all people during a lockdown.
Neil, who gets the points there?
Now, for reasons of that my broadband started going weird there and started slowing down, I'm going to give it to Gus because I liked his answer. Well, number one, I liked his answer, and number two, my internet started going choppy and slowing down just as he started doing that. So it got really nightmarish, but in a very sensual way that will keep me going for the next 2 weeks of lockdown.
you just need to call me. I can do them to request.
Lastly, we go to Bylgja. Bylgja is the owner of 2 cats. That is genuinely the most interesting thing she could think to send us. And interesting fact, before she did have 3 cats, but the other one sadly died of fucking boredom. So, Bylgja, yes, if Bylgja's cats could talk, what would they say about her? Right? So, Rosco, we start with you.
If Bylgja's cats could talk, they would probably say, "We thought she was gay until a few weeks ago," which is just a genuine.
What's the weird? The weird flexes after your answers are confusing me.
Just something that maybe me and cats may have thought.
Gus, what do you think?
I reckon our cats probably are just thinking to each other, fucking hell, hope she's not going to do that weird thing where she rubs tuna on her vagina that makes us lick it off.
And finally, Neil, what do you think Bylgja's cats would say?
If Bylgja's cats could talk, they would say, "It only seems like we love you because you feed us. If you die during quarantine, we will eat your eyeballs like shame-flavoured dreamies."
Okay, Bylgja, who gets the point there?
They're all very good and probably accurate. I'm going to give it to Rosco.
Rosco, yes. Crawling back up. Right, we've got another bonus question, and it's about Bylgja. Bylgja is from a small village in Iceland called Dalvik, with a population of 1,454. So the question to the comedians are, if everyone in our town listened to our podcast today, what would bring that the total number of listeners to? Okay, so we'll start with Gus.
It's basically how many people's in the town.
Basically, yeah. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Very convoluted way to ask me how big's her town.
Didn't write it, mate.
Let's go with, I don't know, like 450. Although I've gone first in these things, and it gives the other people a barometer of where to kind of base it.
Right, so we'll change the question so that's just, you think 450 listeners?
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay. Rosco?
Wait, so how many? So we've changed the question. So it's just how many people do we think are listening to it?
How many listeners?
Well, again, my whole answer's changed because I was like, well, like gay people have such a high demographic, and now that isn't on the cards. So let's say about 12.
12. And Neil?
So it's just how many people listen to the podcast.
nobody
Apparently
understands
so.
this.
There's so
No.
much math involved in this
Done.
question.
Yeah, don't worry, it'll be getting cut. Neil, what do you think?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
It's good, but
That's
it's
my
not right.
Roughly 50. I'm just going to say the word 50.
50, that's great. Well, it was actually closer, so to 110, so that means Neil is the closest. So Neil, you got a bonus point. Well
Wow.
Don't
know how.
Congratulations, Neil. Congratulations for getting a point in a round that nobody understood.
done. And in that absolutely exhilarating round, that brings us to the end of the show. Woo! The points at the end of the show are as follows. In fourth place is Bylgja
Oh,
with
fuck.
only 2 points. I'm sorry, Bylgja, 2 points.
Oh, shit.
In third place with 3 points, it's Rosco. In second place with 5 points is Neil. But today's winner with 6
Have I won it?
is Gus Lymburn. Congratulations, Gus.
That's it. That's 50 quid taken off my PCP order.
Oh, there you go.
To be fair, we all had a call before this and agreed that you probably need that 50 quid to stop you from killing yourself, man. So,
Roscoe, how do you think suicide works? It's not like a financial shit. My suicide fund's down. I'm going to have to kill myself. Like that's not just the way it happens.
Well, congratulations, Gus. We hope you've enjoyed yourself. And goodbye.
Fucking immensely, especially the round about how many people live in Bylgja's town. That just what a Friday I'm having. I'll tell you. Right.
Right, well, that is the end of the show, but we have a bonus round for our Patreon subscribers, those lucky fuckers. Right, this round is difficult questions. Like
What's this? How many beans does Neil like to eat in one go? Fucking what bullshit have you got in store for us this time? Do you know what I mean?
also, you kind of missed out an E in like Patreon. You said patron there.
Patrons, yeah.
That's going to freak people out, man. People send in messages about that.
Patreon, is that how you say it?
Patrons suggest a religious kind of element, right?
This is going downhill quick, isn't it? We don't. Like, the host doesn't even know how to say words. This is fucked.
Go kill yourself, Gus. For fuck's sake.
Oh, come on, Joe.
Tie a £50 note to the end of your dinger, hang yourself at the ceiling so whoever comes in has a nice treat to get over the psychological scars.
Dinger?
Yeah. Okay, penis.
Okay, now we have
This
an
is for patron, come on. You
Yeah.
can go wild.
yeah. Now we have an extra round for our Patreon subscribe. No, now it sounds like I'm fucking saying that now. To have a
Well, you are. You're saying it ridiculously.
It sounds a bit patronizing.
Aye. I'm just trying to rewrite the bean question while I'm saying this as well. Hang on.
Do you want one of us to do it? We could all have a go at this.
Yeah. That's the conversation the guys are going to have with me after this anyway. Right, now we have an extra round for our Patreon subscribers. This round is about difficult questions. We start with Neil Bratchpiece. In 2012, Neil was in the Daily Record because he said that he was mugged by some local youths. But comedians, who actually mugged them and why? Bylgja, we start with you.
Gus, probably for suicide fund money. I don't know. His mom for rent money. Roscoe for methadone money. There are a lot of options here.
Roscoe?
I'm gonna go with all three of them. Yeah.
Cool.
I think Neil was mugged by genetics because we can all see why.
And finally, Gus, what do you reckon?
See, I think it's all, Neil obviously does the wee man character that's famous for on YouTube, and it's all bullshit. Neil's actually very middle class. I think he got mugged by a bunch of posh little kids because he was dissing avocado toast. And don't be fooled by the Chopper Reed moustache. He's born with a silver spoon. Well, lucky Patreon people that can get to see this behind the curtain gold.
I'm sorry I didn't laugh. I was just thinking about how I quite actually like avocado.
I do.
And I was thinking about, I was like, where could I get one of them?
It's just Tesco's.
Well, I'll be there later for the patrons and subscribers if they want a meet and greet. They want to cry.
Next one's about Roscoe. In a skinny article on 2018, Roscoe's pal Christopher McCarthy Boyd describes Roscoe's comedy as psychedelic parlor tricks. What should have he described it as? Gus, we start with you.
A failed clown on DMT.
Neil, what do you reckon?
Roscoe's comedy should have been described as light whimsy for the lightly retarded.
I'll be using that. I'll be using that.
And finally, Bylgja.
Roscoe's comedy should have been described as being waterboarded by an angry homeless man for his enjoyment. And nothing else.
No.
All of these sound like a Chortle review that I once got.
We've got a question about Gus now. On the show, the BBC's Comedy Underground, Gus mentions that he didn't get on with his dad when growing up. Why didn't Gus get on with his father? Neil, we start with you.
Gus didn't go on with his father because he refused to carry on the family business of being Bible John.
Bylgja?
I thought about it for a while. I figured it was best to just keep the reality, and I think he didn't get along with his father because Gus spent his entire childhood proving Freud right.
I missed that. What was that?
Proving Freud right.
Sorry.
Patreon.
Are you trying to say...
But proving... Do I need to be subtitled? Is that what's going to happen?
No, I'm trying to get the... are you trying to say Gus tried to fuck his dad constantly?
No, his mom.
Oh, right.
Mum.
Gus was busy hitting on his mom his entire childhood.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Not so-
What Freud have you been reading, Roscoe? Clement Freud?
I read Freud fiction, man. It's all just Freud fiction erotica.
Fan fiction.
And finally, Roscoe.
I imagine Gus didn't go on with his father because I'd imagine that Gus's father is actually a very stable and well-rounded person with good character judgment.
Who the points go to there?
Neil. Give me, got a good laugh out of his
Are
one.
we still doing points?
No, I noticed I
Fucking-
fucked it. Don't
Wait,
worry.
Were you going to give me your Patreon
Yeah.
money?
Yeah, I've won. Fuck it, no
Oh,
points.
fuck.
Aye.
The world's over. Who gives a fuck?
It's been lovely to see you, man. Bylgja, in an episode of the Comedy Cast interview, who researched this? The Comedy Cast interview. Bylgja says her teachers at acting school didn't really like her because she kept making things funny. Doubt it. But comedians, what was the real reason her teachers didn't like her? Roscoe, we start with you.
Just a general vibe.
Fair enough, man. Gus.
I think they're probably more they were scared of her because she's got a look like the girl from the fucking Ring.
Neil.
Look like the girl for the Ring?
Like, do you know, like, I reckon they're like, Bylgja, have you done your homework? And she was like, I don't want to do my fucking homework. And they're like, okay, fine, that's fine. You sit in the corner and just,
Wow.
just scared her
What's
teachers.
the Ring? You've been watching the Ring on PCP.
It's
what was
the,
That's a different film.
We got through that whole episode without any casual racism right until that point, Gus. So thanks for that.
What was said?
Just your weird accent, man.
It was like, what? There was no, what accent do you think I was doing?
Japanese,
It
Gus.
sounded Japanese, yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't meant to be. It was meant to be Icelandic for Bylgja's thing.
That's fucked up, man.
Yeah, that's a bit weird.
What? It's not my
broadband.
fault. You guys think my attempt at Icelandic now sounds Japanese. Then you are now making me racist. You're racist for not knowing the difference between Icelandic and Japanese, you fucker.
You're making this worse.
My broadband.
Oh, you've somehow been racist.
Broadband connection cut out there.
As well.
It's probably good, Neil, because it was just vomit coming out of Gus there. That was just...
Can anyone tell me, did Gus do the eye thing?
He's blamed the window being open, but I don't know, man.
He done it, but with his mouth.
Just this whole last bit edited out. It's a big pile of fucking horseshit. Well, I don't know, fucking how many cans of Bayern Brew has Roscoe had in a year? I don't give a fuck anymore.
Just keep digging. Just keep digging there, mate. I mean,
wow,
come on,
you
come on,
because I'm Scottish. I drink cans of Bayern Brew.
Exactly.
That is fucked up. Man.
Joe, just say one of your lines that gets nothing and let's wrap this shit up.
Neil, why did Bylgja's teachers not like it?
Christ, we still.
I'm afraid so.
Bylgja's, the real reason Bylgja's acting teachers didn't like her was because of her horrendous Japanese impressions.
Well, that brings us to the end of this section. Thank you very much for watching, and thanks to all the comics for being a part. Bye. That'll be that.